If it's already done, give God a praise tonight all over the house. Let me hear you say, one more time, say, that's your part right here. Say Jesus, Jesus, hurts and calling. Can
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 980 AM WDDO, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
This is the hair and makeup time. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I don't know why we say that twice, but it just feels good saying it twice. Thank you so much for tuning in to Ask Elaine. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, on this Delta Sigma Theta Founders Day, special day. We want to welcome you to the program. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to start our program with a prayer from Apostle Vertice Rosier.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come first of all, Lord, thanking you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this time. Thank you for what you've done, but most of all, Father, thank you for what you're going to do. We stand in anticipation of our future, because our future is looking better because of who you are and what you've done. Now bless this show today as the information is given through this woman that has been the voice for the city on Ask Elaine. Bless and keep her family, keep her children. Yes. We glorify you and we praise you that this show will be the best show. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so very much. You can't go wrong if you start out with prayer, because I tell you, had it not been for the prayers of a whole lot of folks, including you out there, I just don't know whether a lot of us could have made it or not. So welcome once again to Ask Elaine. We do appreciate you having you there very, very much. And we'd like you to share this program. You can hear it on WDDO. And we're just so happy to have you there listening. But we're also on Facebook Live. So if you would please, if you have it on your computer or your phone or whatever, would you please share this program to remind others? I've just posted it again on my Facebook page and shared it with all of the people that I'm connected with. So let's please share the program. And if you have comments, questions about national news, state affairs, or local news, if you would just please call. Our call-in number is 478-250-1444. And for those on Facebook Live, it's there on the screen, 478-250-1444. And we want to thank all of our those folks who have joined us on Facebook. We want to thank Marcy. Marcy has her own business there in the Northeast Plaza Shopping Center. It's called Marthorns, and it's a discount company, and she has some wonderful deals in there. Brand new merchandise. Marcy Thornton, and it is right next to the auto parts place in the Northeast Plaza Shopping Center, in the same shopping center where EL High School is located. And we have Reverend Mabel Randall, who says, "Good afternoon, Commissioner." Good afternoon to you, Reverend. It's always good to have you on. And Marcy, of course, says, "Good afternoon." And so we would really like to hear from you today. We have a lot of time. We don't have an in-studio guest today, so we would like to hear your call. There's a whole lot of things going on in this community that we know you have comments about or questions. This is Ask Elaine. So call and ask us, and we will be glad to try and find the answer or give you the answer to your question. We want to thank our sponsors, State Senator David E. Lucas, who is on duty for you at the state capitol. The legislature went back into session on Monday. So he's been doing that long drive up there. It's long to me. It's not long to other people, but it's long to me. And he drives up every day and then drives back. We want to thank him because he served us for 45 years as a member of the state house, and then for the last 12 years as a member of the state senate. So we want to thank him for his years of service. We also want to thank the Middle Georgia Informer. Their January edition is out. You don't want to miss it. There's a tribute to Queen Mother Sarah Mincy Hunt and to some other folks in there. But the latest in news, if you want to know what's going on in the Black community, then you check out the Middle Georgia Informer. It is we highly recommend. And if someone misses you and you don't get a copy of it, EL High School is one of those distribution sites for it, so you can pick up one, but they go really fast. So at the beginning of the month, you need to come in and pick up your copy of the Middle Georgia Informer. We also want to thank former Mayor C. Jack Ellis, who is one of our sponsors, and we want to thank our own Sheriff David Davis, who is one of our sponsors as well. Glory Baking Company also helps to sponsor our show, and we just are very grateful to these people who have chosen to do that. Once again, we want to salute the sorors of Delta Sigma Theta sorority on Founders Day. Today is Founders Day. I wear the red in honor of the founding and the founders of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. I am a member of Macon Alumni Chapter here in Macon, and I greet all of our sorors. Anytime that we're on the air, if there is a sorority or fraternity or fraternal organization that's having special events or having Founders Day or whatever the event may be, you are invited. You're welcome to call in and let's talk about the organization, why it was founded, and what you're doing since the founding of it. There's so much going on in this community. Did you know that I was sitting in the car right before I came in and there was hail falling? Call me and tell me if I made a mistake. I just didn't see what I thought I was seeing, but it hit the windshield of my car, little pieces of ice. There was hail for about 30 minutes. So call me and let me know whether you experienced it or not, or if I was just, maybe I went to sleep for a minute or two. But call me 478-250-1444. Now, I know that you are interested in a lot of the things that are going on at your county government. We've got a new mayor. The swearing in was several weeks ago of the new mayor and the other 9 commissioners. And I do want to remind you that all 10 of us, including the mayor, are commissioners. It just so happens that the mayor is also a mayor. He's a commissioner. He's also the mayor, and the mayor's position in Macon Bibbs government is a tremendously powerful position. It was set up that way through this new charter. I did not support that charter because I felt like it was too heavily weighted on the mayor's office, and I still feel that way. However, the citizens, the majority of the citizens who voted, selected someone that I did not support. And so I'm a member of the Make and Biv Commission, and I do plan to work to try and make sure that there's a level playing field, and also that the citizens that we represent get a fair shake, that they are privileged to get the resources that they of the government that they pay into. I will also be sharing with you legislation that comes through the commission, and if you have questions, please call me. If you have suggestions, people call me quite frequently with suggestions of things that might help us, plans that might help us with resolving some issues. So your ideas are valued, and so give me a call if you have some ideas. But today, we want you to call in to Ask Elaine at 478-250-1444. Now, a number of you have asked questions about the moratoriums. There are two that have been approved. One moratorium, a moratorium is just a statement that basically it cuts off some things. The first one is a moratorium on the issuance of new alcohol licenses. None of the ones that are already in force will be pulled back or will be discontinued. And all of those businesses that already have them will be grandfathered in. That is, they can renew their licenses and stuff. But in Macon-Bibb County, there won't be any more new alcohol licenses for a certain period of time. I think I heard 6 months. And during that time, the government's going to take a look at what's going on, how many alcohol licenses we have, where they are located. And then because a number of us for a number of years have said that there is a concentration of alcohol licenses in certain areas. In the 31206, the 31211, and the 31204, I believe it is. Those are the three that have the heaviest concentrations of alcoholic beverage licenses. And so there'll be some study done to see what will happen, whether we'll permanently place some limitations on alcohol licenses or what we will do. But we have heard from a number of community groups, for instance, the West Side neighbors. We hear from them quite frequently. They have organized and they fought against some of the recently approved alcohol licenses in their community. So we'd like to hear from you all about what your feelings are on this moratorium. All right, the other moratorium is on the licensing of pawnbrokers, pawn shops within the city limits and county limits of Macon-Bibb County. And so a lot of things are happening with the pawn shops. And so the new mayor and commissioners want to take a look at the pawn shops, that whole idea, and then see where some changes can be made. Maybe this moratorium will be permanent. There's been some talk of the same day lending, the payday lending businesses, because those folks in a lot of cases rob people. There's a huge amount of interest that people who are already in trouble financially end up having to pay. The title pawns, all of those. And many of them are located in areas where poor people live, people who are vulnerable, people who end up with not enough money, at the end of the month, and who have to do something drastic. And so many of them pawn things. Many of them do the title pawn. Many of them end up losing their vehicles. Many of them end up losing a whole lot of things. So these two are are items that passed the commission this week, just yesterday. And so we'll keep you updated on those. We'd like to hear what your thoughts are on that. Call us at 478-250-1444. Now one wonderful project that's been put in place that opened up last Wednesday. As a matter of fact, I got a call last night from a mom who was in her car with her children, and she said she had no place to go, no food, no anything, and she was just so distraught. And so I referred her to the Brookdale Warming Center, and it opened up last Wednesday. It's a former elementary school, Brookdale Elementary, that has been closed, and it is still a fine building. It's in good shape. It's fully operational, and it's called the Warming Center for those who need it. And it will be open 24/7 for the next 60 to 90 days to get people through the coldest months. The county's announcement of the temporary center comes a little over a week after two homeless men froze to death in the county. And I think that kind of jerked a knot in a lot of people who said, not in Macon, Georgia, not in these United States, do we have folks freezing, people who are freezing. This is the richest country in the world. And thank goodness Donald Trump is on his way out, or we were fast losing, our grip on stuff. Hopefully he'll be out of there, and we know he's going to be gone when Joe Biden is sworn in on the 20th, and Kamala Harris will be sworn in as vice president. If they don't get up out of there, then there are some folks who can get them out of there, because everybody recognizes the transfer. And he can sit up there and look stupid and think that he's going to sit there. No, he won't be sitting there. His patootie is going to be out of there. And I say good riddance to him. But back to my topic, I was saying that in these United States, the richest country in the world, the place where so many people want to come and earn a living and have a good life and work hard, we had two homeless men to freeze to death. And I think that sent a chill down everybody's spine. And so in response to this warming center, Mayor Miller pulled together a number of folks and organizations and requested funding from different organizations. I believe the United Way and several others have provided some funding to get it up and going. And they opened, with the help of all of these different agencies, the warming center. And it's Brookdale School on Brookdale Avenue, 3600. And the reason that I know the address is that I found the address for that mother and her children so that I could give it to her. So I sent a text message to her with that address so that she could get there and go in. There are rooms for individuals, and some of the classroom areas have been set up for families. And of course, they would be checking everybody because of the COVID pandemic. But they are providing food, they're providing clothing, their showers and restrooms and all of those things there, with important protocols put in place to ensure that everybody's safe and kept kind of isolated, separated from each other. But this is a wonderful thing. I want to salute Ms. Beverly Jackson, who I met at the warming center last Friday. And she was representing the Women's Missionary Society. Shirley Washington and a number of other folks have been collecting coats and scarves and hats and gloves and warmers for the hands and for the feet. And then EL high school students have a water project where they collect cases of water that they donate to various charitable activities or organizations. And this was a perfect one. So I met Miss Jackson at the warming center, and she had her truck, the back of her SUV, loaded with the Women's Missionary Society things that they were donating. And also we had the water from the EL High School Students Water Project there. And the folks were so pleased to see the outpouring. And when we got there and unloaded what we had, there was another organization coming to bring some other things. So this community has really opened their arms and their hearts for those less fortunate. And I do hope, with the new administration in Washington and the potential for a new administration in 2 years in Atlanta, and then with some progressive leadership here, like the Warming Center and other activities, other organizations, that we will be able to respond to some of the needs of our people. And to me, this was just a great one. So if anybody wants to donate, if your church, your missionaries, or anybody wants to adopt this, I do believe that First Lady Bumpers over at New Pleasant Grove, New Fellowship, that they are talking about taking this on as a project and collecting things and donating those. I know that Stewart Chapel AME Church and my pastor, Reverend Franklin, are pulling things together, coats and hats and scarves, and the membership is donating, and they're going to be donated as well. They are prepared to accept 60 people on Wednesday. I was told that they maybe had 40 people there already, so it won't be long before they reach those numbers. They are saying that the biggest challenge is having staff to run it. So they are getting staff together, and they do need volunteers. So that's the Brookdale Warming Center, which is located at the former Brookdale Elementary School on 3600 Brookdale Avenue. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. Now, we did some other things at your commission meeting on yesterday. We approved a number of positions. One of those positions was an enforcement director, code enforcement director. You remember J.T. Ricketson, who ran against David Davis, and by the way, got whipped real good. But anyway, he's a former GBI agent who just retired. And so the mayor has picked him, has chosen him, and submitted his name to the commission for approval for our code enforcement director. And this is a very, very important position. We have talked and talked and talked about cleaning up this community, about houses that are burned and left. And you're there trying to keep your neighborhood together, and your house clean, and your yard straight, and your flowers and all of that stuff. And then you've got houses all around you that are burned out and overgrown. Well, this administration says that they're going to do an awful lot as far as starting to make a dent in that. Several commissioners, Commissioner Watkins and several others, have repeatedly asked about code enforcement and why we were not taking down more houses. Well, we found out, someone found out and told us that there's a time limit on how long you can keep a house in the process. And after, I believe, 270 days of being in the court process, that a house or a location drops off. And so then I'm assuming that you have to start back over. Well, that's where the problem has been. So we were told that the administration is going to be working on getting that log jam out of there and working more with the courts to make sure that these houses don't stay on the list and then they stay on there so long until they drop off. I have a concern and have had for a long, long time about banks that own properties and they're allowed to let them stay there and run down neighborhoods, and also some of these slumlords and some of the rental companies, the real estate companies that have properties, and they manage a lot of rental property. And so no, in the past, a number of them were given kind of a wink and a nod, and they were allowed to have rundown properties. And so hopefully this is going to put an end to that, or at least start the process toward getting rid of some of the blight in our community. So whatever your ideas are, whatever your feelings are, let us know. You can give us a call and we'll record your ideas or your suggestions, or you can just send an email to your commissioner and let your commissioner know, that send something to the mayor, let the mayor know. And then once we approve, do the final approval on the code enforcement officer, then you will have a place that you can submit those locations so that we can start getting a handle on this. Also, on yesterday, Reverend Dr. Henry Ficklin was approved as the new Director of Community Affairs. That is a new position. It was formerly one that had been in the budget under the former mayor, but it was abolished. And now it's being brought back. It was approved by the Committee of the Whole on yesterday, and it will come before the full commission next week at 6 p.m. And you can watch it on Facebook or makingbib.us. I believe that's correct. But anyway, that position is one that's going to be a liaison to the community. Is going to work with a number of other entities in the community. And so we look forward to a lot of good things coming from that. One other position that was approved was Sharice Stevens as the head of small business function of Macon Bib, and that is very important. It's a part, the small business activity is a part of the charter. People felt it was so important, they included it in the charter. And so it has to be a part of city government. And so I do hope that Ms. Stevens will do an excellent job with that department. There has not been a director for a while. And so there's a need to encourage businesses to and to help them to be able to bid on contracts with the government, especially, and with other entities. So those positions were approved, and there was one more that was approved, and I forgot the name of the gentleman who was approved for it, but it was the director of procurement. We buy a whole lot of stuff in Macon-Bibb County. The government does. And so we have to abide by certain laws and requirements and restrictions. And there has to be somebody who knows what they're doing to follow all of those and to send bid packages out. And so I can see procurement working along with small business and them coming up with plans so that they can help businesses to grow, to even start up, and then also to help businesses to be able to do business with government. So those were the 4 positions that we approved, and you'll be hearing next Tuesday as to whether they got final approval. So that will be very interesting to see. We encourage you to get a copy, if you don't have one, of the Middle Georgia Black Pages. This is a publication that Alex Habersham has been putting out for years and years. And any Black business that you're interested in, it is included in this booklet. Under schools, you have EL High School Academy. You have M.A. Evans School. Under barbershops, restaurants, all of those categories, there are Black businesses here. It's quite substantial here, and you will want to have a copy of it. You'll even see yours truly in here somewhere. Yeah. All right. We invite you to call in. This is Ask Elaine. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see, who have we got? Good afternoon from Cynthia Cersei. Jeanette Goff says good afternoon, and we say good afternoon to you. Y'all call us because we don't want to just hear you see you up there and see your greeting. We'd like to talk with you about some of the issues. We're bringing you the information. So let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about the armed takeover, almost successful armed takeover of our Capitol in Washington. Let's talk about in the state. Let's talk about what we're going to do to encourage Stacey Abrams to run for governor of the state. She was she came very, very close 2 years ago. They stole it from her. Now Trump says his race was stolen from him. He lost his race. Joe Biden just beat him and beat him good, along with the help of Black voters and progressive voters. Biden was able to beat him, but Kemp stole that race. They purged several 100,000 people, kept them from being added to the rolls. I think the difference was 55,000 between Kemp and Stacey Abrams. 300,000 people were purged from the rolls. Theft. Good afternoon, Ask Elaine.
Hey, Commissioner.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, how you doing there?
I'm doing just great. How are you?
All right, this is Commissioner Al Tillman.
Yes, this is our commissioner
everybody.
For District 9, Al Tillman.
Listen, I was just listening at you. We're talking about a coup in Washington. It was a mini coup in Macon-Bibb.
Yeah, we had a mini coup.
But you were sharing some information, and if there's ever a time that people need to keep up, is now. Is to pay attention. Our meetings happen basically every Tuesday. I think that's what we just need to start telling them. Every Tuesday, you need to tune in,
right?
Whether it's at 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. And keep up what's happening, because you were sharing some information that happened yesterday. What was interesting is that our Board of Election received a $500,000 grant, and then there's a I don't know if it was that talk about an executive session?
No.
Okay, there's a
They
possibility.
received the 500,000, and that enabled them to do some
Yeah, yeah,
hazard pay,
right,
and then they received another
right,
200,000.
right. So there's a movement where some folks didn't agree that we should pay them. And one was Commissioner Valerie Wynn.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know if you've seen this commission. I just received an email from her saying, because of COVID and Rachel Gamble, one of our employees, did such a great job with our Zoom that we should give her a proclamation and and a bonus on some money and asking all of us to contribute and do this.
I
So
know
so
she.
so so what I'm
I didn't
saying
get that.
is,
I didn't read that yet.
yeah. So I said, let me call you because even if Valerie or Rachel or anybody's listening or watching, this stuff can't be personal. And this is what's been happening in the Trump administration, where
Yeah.
Republicans have been in charge for years and years, but all of a sudden they're feeling the threat of Democrats finally having the playing fields equal.
Right.
And now everybody's saying, "Oh, let's unify. Let's not do
Oh
this."
yes,
So,
yes.
so it's going
Let's.
to be interesting how you say, hey, no, let's not give nobody no pay that they went out and fought for. Now you say, oh,
Mm-hmm.
let's single out this one employee and give them not only a proclamation for what they did on their job that we already paid them for,
Right.
but let's now get everybody, all the commissioners, just give them some money. And so it's not that you're not going to want to do that, but it's like, it's just certain things you shouldn't do. If you feel personally like that, then that's what you do.
You do it. Yeah. Yeah.
And you go out and get the money. It's just like people get on Facebook and social media. Oh, it's Christmas season. I
Uh-huh.
want to give this family toys and I want to do this for this family. And then they start begging all their friends on
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, y'all
Yeah.
ain't going to help. Y'all ain't right. So if that's what your
But
heart,
see, I agree with
says.
you
So,
on that. That's a different situation. That with that particular situation, she's that particular person is in a position where either everybody gets something. We have to, as a commission, give everybody something, or we don't give anybody anything. That other money was grant money that was applied for, that came in, and it was in addition, and it was from a separate entity, a nonprofit, that was helping to encourage voter turnout all over the country. And so those folks there, if others have been able to use that money for hazard pay, then our folks are going to be able to use it. And this excuse that nobody else can get it, nobody else can get it, nobody else has a grant like that, almost $700,000+ that's intended for boards of elections, and this is happening all over the country. So that's totally separate.
yeah. And so, Commissioner, what I want, people to understand is, our structure is changing from committee to committee of the whole. And a lot of folks don't always understand that either, that we are still commissioners. We'll be commissioners for the next 4 years.
Right.
You can call us. I mean, the department heads are going to still be responsive. We're still going to be able to do everything possible. But what the new commitment is from the new people that says, well, we wasn't sure if we could trust y'all to go along with some of the things we wanted. So what we wanted to do was ensure that we could move our agenda first, and not trust y'all. Is sort of what happened. But Commissioner, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Now, I've gotten a lot of calls and emails for co-sponsorship and all of these things, and so I think once people hear from you and see how you operate, that they will respect and know that, hey, I've got to learn from this person
Right.
or these people.
Right.
Because I'm still learning from you and Commissioner Watkins and others. And so people just have to be mindful.
Yeah.
play games and say, well, I didn't see it. A lot of people, well, I didn't see what happened. I heard. I'm like, go say it's available. It's available. Go and find and do the research and pay attention. Watch the first 15, 20 minutes so you can understand what we're dealing with, who we're dealing with, and why we need you to pay attention.
Right, right. We also want to announce to everybody that there are certain categories that the vaccine is here. To be distributed through the health department, and they have certain categories of folks that will get the vaccine first. Of course, healthcare and first responders and all of those. And then
well,
I
I'm
think
ready.
65 years old, you're not there. 65 years old and old and older.
When my turn comes, I'm ready, Commissioner.
Yeah, my husband, your senator, says that he is ready too, just as soon as the time comes. Now, he's over 65, so he should be able to go ahead and get his. But we encourage everybody to check the Board of Health and see if you're in one of those categories where you can go ahead and schedule to get your vaccine.
And maybe, Commissioner, they'll do some like they've done on the national level with some of us, if they want us to show people that it's safe, when time is necessary. I'm ready to step up, and I want this thing to go away. And I miss family and friends and socializing. And I think a lot of people are just sad, depressed, and just want to see people.
They do,
so
but they still
safe.
have to be safe because
Yes,
this virus is horrible and it has killed so many people. What is it, 250,000 or is it 300,000 in the United States?
Listen, that
and
number
Georgia's
is
numbers
huge.
are way, way up there. Our numbers, we've been in the red zone for a long, long time. And so everybody still needs to be careful. You still need to wear your mask. You still need to keep your distance from people. You still need to have your hand sanitizer, your soap, wash your hands regularly.
Right.
That just has to become a part of what we all do until enough people get the vaccine where this thing will no longer be a threat and will no longer be killing people. Tell me what your thoughts are. I'm so glad you called. Thank you very much. We got a lot of shy people. They aren't calling today, so I'm glad you called. Would you tell us your feelings about the armed insurgents up in Washington?
I call my son who's 12, and my daughter who's 20. She had just gone back to school, but now and they've taught, and she's taught me that they got this duo where we all four could get on the phone. But I called my son down because I wanted him to watch it, and he was intrigued because it was really interesting and fascinating. And I was telling him, how life is different and life is not fair to African Americans. That when all of these Black Lives Matter folks were just standing up for police brutality, they were arrested and they were treated differently.
Right.
And a lot of these same folks that stormed the Capitol were saying, "Oh, Blue Lives Matter," but you cannot fathom African Americans touching law enforcement, and there wouldn't have been gunshots everywhere. You've been seeing Black people laying everywhere, and folks were saying, "Well, look what they did. They were a mob. They was up." And so it was terrible, and it was scary because you were looking at these folks. Now, when we're talking about Black Lives Matter, you're talking about an age group of 15 to 25 years of age. But when you look at some of these folks were daddies and grandfathers and older middle-aged men, white males, retired, and even working class folks that's old enough to be a lot of the Black Lives Matters fathers and grandfathers from age 25. So that was amazing to me. And I kept wondering why there were not more Capitol Police shots or shooting these folks.
Yeah.
Especially when they was chasing the one guy up the stairs. I'm sitting there like, why is he not shooting somebody in the leg to get somebody's attention and say, stop coming at me?
Right.
You know, and so it was terrible. And just to see, I was looking online today and I saw a lot of the military folks that's been activated in the Capitol, sleeping in the Capitol to protect the Capitol. That this thing what we're witnessing is just amazing. And that, the President Trump, as an entrepreneur, a lot of folks have looked at him differently before he became president. But I think his legacy is tarnished and it needs to be that he needs to be in a position to not ever be able to run for office.
Absolutely not ever. Not ever. And I think a lot of people have fallen away from, have distanced themselves from him, but there's it worries me that all those millions of people voted for him. And they're walking around, we're looking at them every day.
Right. Every day. And we have to be cautious and careful.
We sure
and not get on social media and praise Republicans for standing up, because it's the end of the line for them.
Yeah.
Democrats are in charge now and he's leaving. So don't praise people for what they should have been doing right all along.
Yeah.
Don't get on here and praise people. Oh, I like what the Democrats are doing. Thank you, so and so and so and so. No. Just keep paying attention. And now that Democrats are in charge, Democrats can move their agenda and help the poor and the disadvantaged like a lot of this federal money is supposed to. Not to just give it away, but now to help some folks.
It's citizens' money. A lot of people think or are made to feel like this is money that's coming from some source somewhere, Donald Trump or whatever. This is your money. That stimulus check, the one you got, it was $1,200. That was your money being returned to you. And then the $600 that we're all receiving, I got mine. Did you get yours, Commissioner?
I have not received it yet.
Hey, I got mine, and it was welcomed, and you always have something. I set it aside because I've got to have my car checked out real soon. So, but the $600 was my money that I've paid in taxes. And then the next one that the Democrats are going to send out, it will probably be $1,200 or $2,000. That money is your money. It's your money. Everybody pays taxes. Everybody.
No matter if you're the little boy, your little granddaughter, little grandson,
you buy candy, you buy a bar
candy.
You got to pay tax. So everybody pays taxes. And so in this society, people try to make folks feel like they're less than and less worthy of getting services or whatever because they say you don't pay taxes. That is not true. Everybody pays. As a matter of fact, poorer folks pay a higher percentage of their taxes, of their money in taxes than higher income folks because their salaries are lower. They have less money. And so when you pay 7 cents on the dollar, even though your amount is smaller, you still pay a higher percentage. So don't ever let anybody make you feel like you aren't paying your fair share, because every time you make a purchase, every time you do anything, there's tax on it. And so everybody pays taxes. Commissioner, tell me, tell the listeners about, we were talking earlier about the change. You said we're no longer having committees. We had previously had committees that different commissioners were chairpersons of that dealt with different things, and tell us the difference now.
Well, the difference now is if we had legislation that was targeted towards a recreational project or a sidewalk in our particular district or neighborhood, we could run it through a particular committee and 5 people could review it, and 3 people could pass it to send it on to the full agenda. Now, the way this thing is set up, because, Seth Clark, who is a Democrat, didn't believe and trust that we would want to do the right thing with him. Essentially, I was chosen as the new mayor pro tem and decided to give all the authority away back to not only the mayor, but the whole other commission. And we all have to now meet and all have to decide at once, all 9 commissioners or all 5 or 6 at one time, whether we agree with a project. So if somebody's got to come and solicit us for anything, as opposed to talking to the chairman, which was you, or the chairman of Economic Community Development, now they've got to essentially, they don't know who to talk to, or they got to just talk to all 9 commissioners.
Yeah.
That could take a lot of time. When you're trying to say, oh, let's meet for lunch, you just meet with the chairman, and the chairman would come back and talk to the other commissioners and say, hey, I spoke to this person. So somebody thinks that's an easier process. It's easier if you don't want to be looked at or be scrutinized. But that's not an easier process, because you lose a lot of your leverage from your community, from folks. Just like we're commissioners, they're a neighborhood watch association. There are people in charge of their neighborhood that want to reach out to us to get things done. And now they too, they got to go and talk to all 9 commissioners, where 9 commissioners in years past have voted against the budget, voted against funding, DFACS, Tubman, Douglas, transit, poor and disabled folks, where we've tried to carry the mantle. We're forced now to work with folks that never wanted to work with us.
Yeah.
Who we've compromised with budget and say, hey, well, we'll go 2 point whatever percentage, or okay, you want $100,000 for this. They was not willing to compromise. And that's the same thing I'm saying with the Republicans. So when we're in charge as, number one, African Americans and or Democrats, we have to learn how to stick together and be in charge. We sometimes want to compromise, we want to believe, we want to trust. But I think this particular matter and other matters you've seen around the state and the country is, Republicans it doesn't matter. Donald Trump, 5 people are dead from this insurgent, and there are still Republicans got up and defended him and says he didn't cause it, and we shouldn't impeach him, and let's still vote against the election. After all of this stuff happened, after they was nearly killed, their staff. So they didn't care. Wow. And so now, as African Americans and or Democrats, we're all of support all of a sudden supposed to say, okay, let's not be like them, and we're not going to be like them, but let's trust them now and give them still our power. And that's what the commissioner, the new commissioner, did. And we're going to be able to work through it. We got to work with him for the next few years. And so all is not lost, because we're still commissioners for the next 4 years. But we have to remind him what he did, and let's hope for the best. Because I had a conversation with him or two, and because he's a young man, he's not as young as Commissioner Watkins. He is the second youngest now, and I may have to look at that with Paul, because with Brunson, because I'm not sure. I think I knew he's young. He's 35. I'm not sure how Brunson is, but I know Commissioner Watkins, I think, is still the youngest commissioner. But even he had been around for a while and understood what he was about to give up.
Right.
And so I'm not sure these new commissioners understood what they were about to give up, or why they didn't trust Commissioner Lucas, why they didn't trust Commissioner Watkins. They feel like they're going to do the right thing and want to help move the community along as well.
Well, it looks like there was a lot of maneuvering that took place. And when somebody new comes into office, then they of course want to put their stamp on different things, their label on things, and that is what you have this time. I was disappointed that the committee system was abolished and that we're dealing with a committee of the whole. And I think we're going to rush through some things. Hopefully, we can, ask questions and have people to think. About the merits of an issue rather than just thinking about whether they want to pass it because we're opposed to it or we're asking questions. That would be
Yeah.
a big, big mistake. But I, like you, encourage everybody to take a look to follow these meetings. And as things get better, gradually start attending
Right.
the meetings and make sure
Yeah.
your voice is heard, because now Commissioner Tillman, Commissioner Watkins, I, Commissioner Mallory Jones, all of us will be rotating off of the commission. We are term limited. That's another thing that came along with consolidation. There are term limits. And so
Yeah.
commissioners could only serve 3 terms. So at the end of this term, we will be finished as far as our service on the commission, unless we stay off and then run
Well, you
again
know what?
after a time
Well,
off.
let's hope what Stacey Abrams was able to do in Georgia that our legislators can do, and possibly,
Mhm.
2 years from now, a whole lot could change. And
Yes.
Commissioner, they're making history. I'm watching CNN right now. I'm looking at the vote so far, and there's a time limit on voting. 3 Republicans have voted to impeach Trump
Well,
thus
good,
far.
good.
And so this vote is happening as I'm speaking to you, and you'll be able to report
Mhm.
next week what
Mhm.
the outcome
Mhm.
was, and through social media. So yeah. So Commissioner, listen, thank you for taking my
Thank
call.
you.
I'm gonna
Thank
give
you
you your
very much
time
for
back.
calling.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that your show comes on tomorrow at
I'll be there
11,
tomorrow with
and so we'll
me
be
and Johnny
listening.
Hollingshead Jr.
Yeah, we will be listening, and we'll try to from time to time share information along with you on your show, because we can't
Yes,
get too much information. But
that's
thank
right.
you so much for your service, and you were the punching bag this time, it looks like, for an incoming a wave of change, that things just happen, but it opens your eyes and it makes you understand how things
Absolutely.
go sometimes. So
Senator Lucas been telling me for years, and so here we are.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
commend it. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Be blessed.
All right. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was our former Mayor Pro Tem, Al Tillman, who shared with us some information. We still have time for a few more calls. If you'd like to call in, our call in number is 478-250-1444. We want to remind you that the Martin Luther King holiday is this coming Monday. Everybody will have a day off because it's a national holiday. National holiday, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and all of those other national holidays. So we would encourage, since COVID is rampant, we would like to encourage everybody to take that as a day of service and do what you can socially distanced. But there are a lot of places that you can help with cleanups. You can help with food distribution. You can help with a number of things. There will be a ceremony in Rosa Parks Square at 12 noon on Monday to kick off, to have a wreath laying, and it will kick off the 2021 series of events in honor of Dr. King. So we would like to see you there in Rosa Parks across from the Government Center at 12 noon on Monday, the King holiday. So I think I hear our music. Um, you've been listening to Ask Elaine We hope that you found out something that you didn't know, and we hope that you will follow up. And next week, call us. Ask us questions about whatever is on your mind. I'd like to hear from some of those folks who used to call all the time. Thank you so much. Until next Wednesday, y'all be safe. Be safe because COVID is not playing. Be safe. And we'll look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday for another edition of Ask Elaine. Good afternoon, Ask Elaine.
Madam Commissioner, Pastor Lisa,
Yes.
sorry that I didn't get to call in earlier to the show.
All right, that's all right. We're on the last little minute of the show, but Pastor
we will
Lisa,
be with you Monday at noon.
We'll see
because
you
we know
then.
we can't have that march
Yes.
because of COVID, but we'll be there at noon to commemorate Dr. King as
All
well
right.
as Rosa Parks.
Great. Thank you so much.
Love you and thank you for your work.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 980 AM WDDO Perry Macon.
It's time for you to dance. Oh, you need to dance. Dance for your healing. Dance for your joy. Dance for your freedom. Somebody shout freedom. He broke the chains, he set me free.